Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I guess it's about time for a meeting. Well, as always, I'm Matt, and today we're going to be looking at Old Lahaina Gold Premium Rum. This is another one of the rums that I picked up while I was over in Hawaii, and I just apologize in advance. I'm not really sure if it's pronounced Lahaina, but while I was over in Hawaii, I was a little bit busy soaking up the tropical vibes rather than finding out word pronunciations. I don't think it's the most common of rums, since I only saw it in 2 bottle shops while I was in Honolulu and I'd never seen it anywhere else. So let's jump in and learn a little bit more about it together. So first things first, the label on the bottle clearly says that it's a product of Hawaii, and it's probably a pretty good giveaway of why I haven't seen it anywhere else, especially here in Australia. Now, this distillery doesn't seem to have the best internet presence, especially considering their own website seems to have been suspended for some reason. So that's not going to be really the best way to find out information about them. Additionally, their Facebook and Instagram pages last posted in 2020, so that's really not looking great for their current existence. From what I can find out about them though, it seems that their distillery is the oldest on Maui and began construction way back in 2003. The father and son team of Paul and Brian Case first distilled and barreled their rum in 2006. They sold their first bottle in 2009, so that means if they are still existing and selling bottles of rum, they've been at it for over a decade now. Also, apparently the distillery was built in the ruins of an 1875 sugar mill, which just envisioning that sounds like a super cool, impressive place. But considering I don't know if they still even exist anymore, I have no idea whether you can go and visit it. So if you have any way of getting in touch with these guys and know whether they're still around, let me know in the comments below, because I would really love to go and check that out. But enough about that, let's take a look at the actual rum itself now, Old Lahaina's Gold Rum. It apparently uses an original formula of some description, but I can't find it anywhere online because, again, there's very little internet presence. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's a blend of some description. According to the bottle, it's designed to recreate the rums brought to Lahaina in the 1830s by sailors and whalers. Now, how the father and son team managed to determine what those rums from the 1830s tasted like, I have absolutely no idea, but it's a nice little story and a nice little homage to their area. Other than that, I can somewhat reliably say that this rum comes from a steam-fired pot still that was built in 1946, but that is secondary information that I got from a website that apparently got it from the original distillery's website. But I can't visit it, so I don't know. Because of that lack of information online, there's not too much more I can say about this other than that it is a 40% ABV rum. We know that for certain because it's on the bottle. And speaking of the bottle, let's take a look at it. The design here is pretty simple, but very elegant in my eyes. The product of Hawaii at the top looks very stately, and the image of a Hawaiian girl greeting the sailors fills me with a desire to be back on the islands. Immediately, just from looking at the rum in the bottle, we can see that this is a very dark coloured rum, which is what we would generally expect from something labelled as a gold rum. It's a little bit hard to tell the colour when it's all in that bottle though, so let's get this one opened, pour some in the glass, and take a closer look. Cork top, nice pop, good start to the experience. Just threw that cork away. Alright, nice gentle pour, good, good. And we can see there's a nice light colour to that, a little bit lighter than it is in the bottle, but that's what we generally expect when we take a rum out of a bottle. I can see a little bit of something just kind of floating around in here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that on camera. But it seems to be in the bottle as well. There's just kind of like a swirling presence of things floating inside the rum. Now, if this was something like a whiskey, I would probably expect that to be some of the barrel charring or something like that, but I have no idea what that would be in this rum. No idea at all. If you have any suggestions of what it could be, let me know in the comments below, because I'm very curious, and there will be no chance of being able to see it on the distillery website. So if you can take a wild guess, let me know. But apart from that, we can see that this is also a nice light colour, kind of a coppery brown with tinges of amber that are coming through as the light passes through it. So quite a nice little colour there. let's give it a bit of a smell and see what that's like. So there's not a huge amount coming out of the glass right now. It's a very subtle nose to it, very gentle. When you dig in a little bit deeper, there seems to be maybe kind of some sweetness of caramel and butterscotch, but not a huge amount other than that. Yeah, I'm really trying to get in deep here. Got the eyes closed so I can focus just on the smell. There's maybe a little bit of licorice in there as well. Just a tiny, tiny little bit. But I was really expecting this to have a lot more vanilla and oakiness considering the color of it and the fact that it's a gold rum. So maybe this hasn't been aged very long and it's just coming from caramel color. Not really sure. But there is not much coming out of that nose. So let's take a taste, see if that gives us a little bit more. Ooh. Okay. So the taste kind of seems a little bit rough at first, almost a little bit medicinal. And it kind of makes you want to like screw your face up. And it's giving me flashbacks to when I had like antibiotics as a kid. Like just, yeah, like an intense flavor where I'm like, ugh. But then that starts to open up a little bit. And the medicinal quality starts to give way to more of kind of a spicy, sweet flavor. It's not really a very intense spiciness to it. It's just a light spiciness. It's not really like a cinnamon or a ginger or a pepper that really kind of brings out a unique spice flavor, but more just a general spiciness that's kind of offset by the sweetness of the rum. There's also what I'd kind of describe as charred vanilla, like a little bit kind of like a burnt toffee sensation. I'm not really getting much woodiness or oakiness from this at all. But the flavors don't really stick around too long in general anyway, so it's a little bit hard to tell. Let's have another sip and see if we can get some more. Yeah, there's still a very rough aspect to this. Kind of alcoholic burn and spiciness, which really means it's not much of a smooth sipping sort of rum. Now, I think if you were to mix this into a cocktail, you'd probably be able to curtail that spiciness and that alcoholic burn especially. But just as it is by itself, it's a little bit rough. That being said, I wouldn't mind if someone poured me this on an evening together. I'd be happy to sit there and sip on it, but it's probably not going to be my first choice by myself. So there you have it, a gold rum from a distillery that may or may not still exist based on what I can find from Google and Facebook. It's a little bit sweet and a little bit spicy, but overall, it's making me long for Hawaii. If you've ever tried Old Lahaina, or if you've been to Maui lately and can tell me whether the distillery is still around, let me know in the comments down below. Meanwhile, I'm going to get this one over onto the shelf, and I will see you in the next meeting.